Rose seats and I'm fucking her, cut a double C, but she near cause she's bad. Riding Kawasaki, I can cup you in the worry, let you ride it, then you
Okay, please don't get nuked. Oh, what are we saying? What day is it today? It's Wednesday, I believe. What's good, my people? How's it going? Another video, episode like 13, 14. I'm actually not too sure. Someone in the comments will know. You know, we're chilling. We got the Echo light on deck and the dethroner, and then cluster dextrin, EAAs, Echo light. Oh man, life is good. I'm telling you, this Ekkovision package revived the diet for me. Not to say that I was gonna quit, but it definitely aided in motivation. And I guess that could be the topic of the video, or at least a subtopic, because motivation is incredibly important, because what motivation does is it influences your perception of effort, right? So we have this model, this psychobiological model of fatigue. I forget who created it, sorry about that. But essentially what it states is that we actually reach failure in an exercise due to us reaching our maximum tolerable perception of effort. And having heightened motivation can lead to lower effort perception, or a lower perception of effort, which means that we're going to be able to get closer to that maximum tolerable perception of effort than if we had lower motivation. So things that can increase that: caffeine, fast tempo music, having numerary targets, like numbers to push towards, having feedback, lifting in a competitive environment. All of these things boost our motor unit recruitment by allowing us to lower our perception of effort. And some more things that will lower our perception of effort: stable exercises, right? Lifting in lower rep ranges, etc., right? This is why it is really contrary to popular belief that when we're selecting exercises or we're creating a resistance training program, is we want it to be easy for us, in the sense of we want to be comfortable. We don't want to be stressed. We don't want instability. We don't want high heart rate, anything that causes discomfort, because discomfort is a perception, and any perception takes up space in the sensory part of our brain and adds to our perception of effort, which again, you can think of it like a bar, like a progress bar. And once that progress bar reaches 100, you can no longer complete another repetition. So our goal is to have the least amount of perceptions as possible. So we don't want instability, we don't want pain, we don't want discomfort. Those are going to be examples of what we call afferent feedback, and that can eat in to our effort perception. So hopefully that makes sense. Which is why motivation is pretty damn important, to be honest. But not to the point where we're gonna go and say, oh, I have such high motivation when I do a bro split, so that means that a bro split is going to be the most optimal split, because then it gets a little bit hairy, right? Because like I always say, unless you will not go to the gym unless you do a bro split, then the bro split is always going to be the least efficient thing that you can do. It can work, and plenty of people have built amazing physiques, but it's obviously not going to be the most efficient way of going about it. Give me a second. We're gonna sip on this Ekkovision. Oh, pineapple paradise. I don't know why I'm being like stingy. I'm still not touching my blackberry lemonade for some reason, which is my all-time favorite flavor. But grape is also good. I heard glacier gummy is peak. I'm excited for next. I'm already excited. I love Ekkovision. I'm genuinely like always plugging their stuff. I'm also wearing their lifestyle beater. I'm telling you right now. Hold up. Oh, it's to die for. Their lifestyle beater is amazing. When they first sent me out some stuff before I was even with Ekko, I wasn't really a fan of the beaters because they're a little bit revealing, they're a little bit too tight, and my favorite beaters were Amazon Essentials because they're just nice and chill, they're not too revealing, they're not too, douchey. But essentially what Ekkovision did is they came out with these quote-unquote lifestyle beaters, which they cover a little bit more of the chest, they cover a little bit more of the lats, they feel great, they're softer material, they're not as hard to take on and off, and they're true to size. And they literally just came out. I think they're like already sold out, so they're waiting for a restock. I can't wait till they drop the white one, if they ever do. I don't know. Hopefully they will. Gray one. I'm gonna be living in these things. Well, to be honest, we're coming up. I keep forgetting it's mid-September. It's actually insane. We're pulling up to October. This year has flown by, but you know what? This has been one of the best years of my life. So I'm blessed. I'm super blessed. I can't wait for this diet to be over and for me to get back to normalcy, and then I can start creating, better content, hiring an editor. I mean, I can do all of these things now, but we're just taking it one day at a time. As far as the diet, every day I look at myself in the mirror and I scale myself, and weight's coming off, but you just realize that you have so much more to come off. It's really insane. Every time I diet, I always tell you, whatever you think your body fat percentage is, add 5% to it, because that's probably going to net you in the realm of where you are, because it's insane. I want chest striations, I want some lines in my glutes, I want my legs to be dug out, and this takes time. You can't rush the process, which, trust me, if am I exploding? If I could, I would speed it up. I would, but I can't. So I'm going at the fastest rate possible that I can physiologically pull off fat from my body. Are you going to be at more risk of muscle loss? Sure. But this is the beauty of what I'm doing, is I'm not prepping for a show. So there's no stress. I'm just doing it for fun. Am I a psychopath for doing it for fun, trying to get to like 7%, 8% body fat? I'm not going to push towards like 5, 6, where I'm completely just absolutely peeled. But I want to push to like 7 to 8, and we got a good 6-7 pounds to go, you know what I'm saying? And that's gonna take probably 6 to 8 weeks, give or take, right? It's not gonna take more than that, I'll tell you that. And I definitely have a limit, a hard cap in terms of my body weight that I don't want to go below. But yeah, so that's enough about me. What else? FIFA, we are approaching Div 4. I'm loving the game. I just wish I had more time to play, but you know what? It is what it is. It kind of makes it even better because it's just so fresh, and I don't overplay it. I need another sip. I'm telling you, lifestyle beaters, Ekkolite, dethroner. That's your triple threat. My recommendation of what to pick up from Ekko. With the day that these guys ship to Canada, oh, it's going to be glorious. I'm going to put all of my boys on. It's going to be glorious. We got another full body session. Strength is chilling. I'm chilling. Sometimes, you know, I let my form get carried away a little bit, just like I tell you guys, and that is when I do a little reset. And the cool thing is because me and my brother have a training app that we developed, and all of these little details and what's the word I'm looking for? I can't remember. But for example, say you've been ego lifting, right? We all do it. What you can do with Tracked is you can reset the session. And so what that does is it removes all connections to prior workouts so that you can start fresh. You can set new PRs, 4 to 8 rep range, which is what I work in. And then you won't see the green or red until the session after. So this is a very useful tool, especially when you're dieting, even when you're not dieting, whenever you feel like you've been a little bit dishonest with your technique. It kind of gives you a nice little fresh starting point to work from. Especially when you're dieting, you don't want to be, and you're only doing single sets, you don't want to be doing a single set of 3 reps and have that be your only stimulus. I mean, it's perfectly fine too. You can get away with it. It's just that you are leaving gains on the table. So I highly recommend hitting yourself with that nice little reset. And even some things like tracking your weight. There's some things that we're looking to add because obviously me dieting right now and I'm trying to get diced. Just toying with the body weight section, the body weight logs, changing up the calculations, the weekly rate, maybe adding some of these things that I've been talking about in my prior videos about the max rate of fat loss, you know, building in a total daily energy expenditure similar to what Macro Factor does, and then, you know, we have steps, and we could also add potentially cardio and potentially our training, and then we can estimate your total daily energy expenditure, and then based off of your weight that you input, we can increase or decrease the estimated total daily energy expenditure through some algorithm, and then that can kind of, you know, self-coach you in a way. This is exactly what Macro Factor does, essentially, but they have food. But you know what? We are currently working on nutrition tracking right now. Shout out Jackson. He's the GOAT. He's cooking up some interesting stuff right now. Now, will we be able to compete with Chronometer? You know, probably not. In all honesty, we don't have the money to license the database that Chronometer uses, which is the CDRB or something like that. It's extremely expensive, and it just doesn't make sense for us to invest in that because we don't have enough users. So tell your friends, tell your family, use track.gg, support us. It's $5 a month. We would appreciate it tons. Even if you don't want to support us in the sense of subscribing, if you say you don't have the money, just use the app, right? Use the app. Give us feedback. Join the Discord. We have a free Discord. Bunch of like-minded individuals in there, so join up. We would be happy to have you. There's also a ticketing system, so if you guys have any suggestions in regards to feature suggestions, bug reports, you name it, it's obviously an extremely small dev team. It's the smallest dev team of one guy, Jackson. So we get on those updates and bug reports ASAP. So yeah, definitely hop on that. I think another thing I wanted to talk about was sleep. That was a big one. I always get asked, what are your tips for sleep? What are your tips for sleep? So the most important tip for sleep is having a routine, right? Sleep hygiene is incredibly important, and your circadian rhythm is incredibly important because melatonin is going to peak at nighttime and cortisol is going to peak in the morning. So melatonin is obviously going to make you sleepy, cortisol is going to keep you awake, make you feel awake. So this is why having a sleep schedule, if you're allowed, if you're not working night shifts or something like that, where you are sleeping at night and waking in the day is important, right? So that's step one. Number one is sleep around the same time every night and wake up around the same time every day. Give or take an hour here or there, perfectly fine. Make sure that your room is pitch black, no light coming in. Make sure that it's silent and make sure that it's cold. Those three things, okay? You can even take a hot shower prior to bed, as that's actually going to lower your core body temperature. It sounds counterintuitive, hot shower, lower core body temperature. Another thing is your racing mind. Make sure that you are not doing any stressful or strenuous activities prior to bed to raise adrenaline. Make sure that you are calm. Make sure that you left the stresses of that day in the past. Journal, go for a walk, do an activity that relaxes you prior to bed. Limit blue light. Get off your phone. Don't scroll on your phone an hour or two before bed. Don't play games, especially if you're dealing with broken sleep or you have trouble falling asleep. These are some things that you really need to take serious, right? Watch a show, read a book. Reading a book is probably the best thing that you can do. It puts your mind at ease. It's extremely important. That's probably like my number 2 tip is try to relax before bed in a couple hours and then put the phone away. You can try to wear blue light blocking glasses, but in all honesty, the evidence is lackluster in terms of the efficacy of blocking blue light like that. And then you notice how I've left supplements to the very end because you need to have everything else in check before you go down the supplement route. Even before we go to supplements, food, right? Everyone asks, oh, how long should I push the meal? It depends completely on the individual and their scenario. Are you dieting? If you're dieting, you might want to have that meal closer to bed so you're not going to wake up hungry. What should that meal consist of? Well, if you're waking up in the middle of the night because you're starving, maybe you want to have some slower digesting protein like Greek yogurt so you have some casein in there, or maybe you want to have some fats and some fiber to slow the digestion. If you are in a surplus where you're main gaining, maybe you don't want to be going to sleep super full and digesting, so you want to push that meal further back. It all depends on the individual, their goals, what phase they're in, and what does the meal consist of. And then there's fluids. Are you waking up to pee in the middle of the night? This is a very common one, right? So you might want to limit fluids an hour or two before bed and start, you don't have to have zero fluids, but you might want to have just a little bit and just start sipping on fluids. Another thing too is it's not always the fluid issue, and it's an electrolyte imbalance. Make sure that you're having enough potassium, right? Make sure that you're not just focused on sodium. Potassium is incredibly important. Make sure that you're having magnesium. Magnesium is probably my number 1 supplement for sleep, and people often underutilize magnesium. You don't need just 200 milligrams. Play with 400, 600, 800 even. Obviously, this is not medical advice, so do it under your own discretion. But I have definitely had success utilizing much higher doses of magnesium prior to bed. Which form of magnesium? I like magnesium bisglycinate because it's going to be the easiest on your stomach. You're going to be able to digest it very well. So that is my tip for supplements. You could use glycine. That's going to be another good one. Low dose melatonin, so anywhere between like 1 to 3 milligrams is going to be excellent. Having 1 milligram, say 2 to 3 hours before bed, and then another milligram maybe an hour before bed is an excellent way of going about it. No, you're not going to be reliant on melatonin, and no, it's not going to reduce your natural production. There is no evidence to support support that, so you're perfectly fine. You can have it every single night if you really wanted to. So that is pretty much it in regards to sleep. So I would go through that list, especially if you're struggling, and check those all off. And that is going to be it for this video. Hopefully you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. I'm about to go train. I'm hoping the posing is going to be good. Are we going to look leaner? Who knows? Find out here in like 3 hours. So yeah, hopefully you guys have a great day, and I'll catch you guys on Friday. Peace.